My next guest for the Women in WordPress series is Shambi Imari. Shambi, it's nice to see you. How are you today?
Nice to be here, Michelle. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's always nice to chat with you. It was really nice when you and I got to meet each other face to face at WordCamp
There
US when it was in National Harbor. So I feel like we're besties, so it's all good.
you go. Once you get a Michelle selfie, like you're bonded for life, right?
I mean, something like that, right? Well, for people who aren't as who don't know you as well as I do, why don't you tell us where you're located and what you do with WordPress?
Yeah, I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, USA, and I'm an agency owner, and we only build in WordPress. So if
Mhm.
someone comes to us with any new builds, we build in WordPress. And I've been working with WordPress since 2008. And I
Wow.
also use WordPress and teach that in the community.
Mm.
So I'm one of the co-organizers of our local WordPress meetup, and I currently work with the local high school, and they have a team that is maintaining a community website. They learn to build in WordPress, and then I also offer classes from middle school and high school kids online at different times throughout the year for them to learn what WordPress is and how to build with it.
I love that. And do you find that people who are learning WordPress from you are falling in love with it the same way that maybe you and I did back in the day?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one of those things like, once you start, once you get hooked and you learn the power of the
Hmm.
CMS, like you love it, you're going to stick with it.
Yeah. And are you a little bit jealous that, like I am, of like the people that are starting WordPress now? First of all, they didn't have to like switch their brains from classic editor to the block editor. So like that was really nice. But also like we went from having to download, do the famous 5 minute install to like one button installs to now it's just like automatically installed on, managed hosting. It's like I'm a little jealous that I went through all that. But on the other hand, I probably learned a lot in the process too.
Yeah, and that's what I think is the reason why I love teaching it because I did go through all those,
Hmm.
iterations of WordPress. And so I'm able to actually, when I work with my students, I start them with self-installs on the server. So they learn
Mm,
about setting up a database. I want them to know that part of
yeah.
how the software works versus just the one click. But when it comes to
Hmm.
clients, oh yeah, I love that. Like you said, one click or it's already part of their hosting package. It's like
Yeah.
great when you're working with clients.
Yeah, it makes life a little bit simpler, that's for sure. Absolutely. So obviously you and I are both, big WordPress fans, but what drew you to WordPress and what made you stay?
Yeah, so go kind of way back. I started with Zoops. That was my first CMS, like what, early 2000s. And then I went from there to Joomla, and I was like a diehard Joomla cheerleader. Like I was out there helping, create modules. I was doing everything, and I loved Joomla. And then I had someone, have a WordPress website, was like, "Hey, can you help us maintain?" I'm like, "I've never heard of WordPress." And they actually did not hire my agency because they were like, I
Mhm.
don't think you can handle WordPress. And so that was my challenge. And I was like, oh,
Uh,
no, I'm going to learn it and I'm going to handle it. And once I learned it, I fell in love with it's a great CMS if you're a developer, but also for the end user. And that's what made me
mhm.
fall in love with it because it was
Yeah.
something that clients could come to us. We could build a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are very capable and they want to self maintain. So I love that about it is this is something that as a developer you can build for somebody, but then you can train them to maintain it. And
Hmm.
so that's kind of like my progression and what got me to just stay with it when dealing with clients.
I love that. So you've been in WordPress longer than I have. So I started in 2011. Um, for women who are either thinking about a tech career in WordPress or maybe are at the beginning of their journey, what advice would you offer to them?
Just start. It's going to seem intimidating, but that's when you find communities like, you have so many communities, Michelle, that you've set up and you're a part of. Find those supportive communities to find mentors that will be there to help you when you have questions. Look for your local WordPress meetup. That's what I
Mhm.
love about our Columbia WordPress is we have a lot of newbies that come who said, look, I just set up my blog in WordPress. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Find those local meetups where you can go in person and meet up with different ones. And it's because you'll find that community. So I would say, don't be intimidated even when you first log in and you're like, what in the world's going on here? but find your meetups, find communities online that can
Mhm.
help you. And that's going to be the key. Community is going to be the key to help you learn and keep you learning when things get tough. And like I tell anybody, yes, there's crying in coding, even if you're just doing everything on the front end. So if you cry, it's not just you. I cry lots when it comes to working on
Yeah.
projects.
I have
So
shed a
just
tear
know,
or two myself. Yes,
there you
absolutely.
go. It's just a normal part of the process. But
Yeah.
what's wonderful is, once you dry off your face and you keep working, and then the feeling, the satisfaction of when you get it to work or you get it to look the way you
Hmm.
want is amazing. So just keep
Yeah.
going.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to share some of your experiences and give more people an insight into who you are. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, and you have a great day, Michelle.
Thank you.